Hi, a very warm welcome to Dusty Shelf Collectibles. Well, I've got another one here from my grandfather's collection. I mentioned in one of the previous videos that I inherited a few of his locos recently. None of them are running particularly well. This one does sort of just about move forward and backwards, but probably just needs a very good clean. So what we have here is a wren. I believe it's probably from mid-70s, I'm guessing. It's a die-cast body on here. You can see probably just needs a good clean. There's a lot of grub on the sides here, a lot of grub on the wheels. Hopefully that'll come up quite nicely, and we'll get the lid off and yeah, give it a good clean inside, and hopefully this will be a nice little runner, but we shall see. Tender, got a couple of scratches on the side here, which is a shame, but again should clean up quite nicely, and I don't plan to repaint any of it. I plan to leave it in its original livery and just give it a good clean. So anyway, let's take this over to the track and I'll show you what it's doing, and then we'll come back here and take the lid off and yeah, see if we can get this running nicely. Right, so you can see my HM controller here set to full power. I've put it onto low impedance, and let's just turn the dial round, and you see that's what the loco wants to do. Certainly backwards is a little bit better. There is a little bit of motion there. It feels like it wants to go backwards, but definitely forwards. I'm guessing it probably just needs a very good clean, so let's get it over to the bench and let's get the lid off of it and give it a clean. Right, how do we get inside this one? So there's a couple of screws at the back here. I'll take those out. I'll drop the wheel trucks, pony trucks off. I'll clean those separately. That's the rear one. That's the arm that goes on it. Let's get this front one off as well. Okay, that's one of those. Okay, there must be another screw. There is in the chimney. Okay. Right, what can we do with this? I think we need to clean the wheels off. Have a look at the pickups. They don't look too bad actually. The pickups are just here, but we'll take all that off and give that a clean. And yeah, we'll drop the motor out and see if we can put some power back in the motor. Let's do that bit first. So let's get the brushes out of the motor. And this one on this side is already disconnected. That's one brush. And the other brush. Right, let's get the lock ring off. Let's take that over there. Let's pull the armature out if it will come. Here we go. Okay, let's have a look. It's not too bad inside actually, to be fair. Not too bad at all. I think I'm going to take the pickups off. cut this cable just so I can release it. Bring this up here, put that to one side, and I'll give this a good clean. Right, that's as far as I want to dismantle it, and I'm going to see if I can you know, clean it from here without doing too much more to it. So first thing is I'm going to give these wheels a little bit of a clean. Now what I do with these, let me get my drill. Right, with my drill here, got a little bit of tape around the chuck. Press that onto the wheels, and as I turn the drill on, you'll see that the wheels rotate, and as they do so, I can just put a little bit of emery cloth on there. Just a tiny piece of emery cloth on there to take the worst of the muck off the surface. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but you can see the difference it makes. This one's full of grime, this one's nicely cleaned up. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the rest of those. Right, well those wheels have come up really nicely, so I'm going to go and give this a clean with some soapy water, see if I can get the muck off the actual wheels inside. And then I may have a go at cleaning up some of the mechanism just with a little bit of wire wool on there. Taking the magnet out, as you can see, just put that over there for now, and we'll come back to that in a little bit. Well, that really has come up a treat. It's got all of these little bits were full of black muck in there, and that's all come out. Now all I've done with this, as I say, is you saw me start to clean the wheels. They're all now nice and shiny now, and particularly on the pickup side I've cleaned the insides, so that should be better. And then I've taken this through to the sink, literally with a toothbrush and some washing up liquid, just gone all the way over it and got all the grime out. And then the last little bit is I put it into my ultrasonic cleaner, left it in there for a few minutes and dried it off. So that's come out a treat. And while I was there, I did the same with the body, got all the grime off of it. So most of the grime has gone. There's still a couple of little areas that I will go over in a bit, but it's got the worst of it off. Looks much better. And yeah, I am impressed with the casting on there. It does say Ren on the inside there, so I have identified it correctly. This is a Ren loco. So anyway, right, next steps, let's give this motion and oil before I forget. Feel it freeing up already. Looking at the boxes. Lovely. That's running beautifully. Okay, right, I'm going to start putting this back together. So let's clean off the armature. And for this I'm just using WD-40 contact cleaner. Somebody recommended this and I've been using it since. Fantastic. Just gets all the grime off. Let's just give that a wipe round. Lovely. Don't really need to do a lot to that. Be careful not to knock the wires off on it though. Perfect. I'm going to leave that to one side. Just want to clean this off if I can. Make it. That'll do. Pop that back over there. Right, magnet. So I am going to remagnetise the magnet, and you will have seen me use my machine a few times. So with this, polarity north there. So we check the magnet, find out which way is north. Put it into the machine this way round, making sure the polarity is there. You push the two, I don't know what you call these rods, they've probably got a technical name, but basically they're 2 lumps of steel in coil magnets. You push them forward so that they sit on your magnet. I'm just going to double check the polarity. Then plug this in, and all you do is you push the button for a few seconds, and it just puts a little bit more energy back into the magnet. But as always with this, I do worry about all my electrical equipment, so I am going to move my camera well away from it. They do make when you push this button, it does create a huge magnetic field, and yeah, so I'm just going to move my camera away, and then we'll push the button on there. Right, so I push the button on there a couple of times, and what you'll see when I lift this out is how, well, you can't see it, but I can assure you that's really stuck in there now, because you can feel how much strength the magnet's got, so that's good. And we'll drop that back into the housing on the back of the loco, like so. Right, so that's all back together, armature's clean. I'm just going to clean off inside where the brushes go, give this a good, again with the contact cleaner, should bring most of the grime out. Yeah, look, you can see it all on the cloth there, just bits of carbon coming out of there. To be fair, it's not that dirty. That all looks pretty good in there. Okay, that's good. Right, let's get the armature back in. So this slides back down inside the magnet. There it goes. Okay. Right, we'll just pop this back on the back of the motor, like so. I'm just going to put a tiny drop of oil into the bearing on here, and let's get this back in. There it goes. Okay, that's that done. And then finally I'm going to drop these brushes back in. That's one of them. Just give it a clean off before we put it back in. Right, that's not too bad. Make sure that goes around that way. And then the spring needs to just come back on top like so. That's that one done. Give this a quick wipe off. Drop that back down here. Again, the spring goes in there. Right, so that's the motor back together. I obviously need to resolder the wire that I took off, and we need to put the pickups back in. So I'll just give these a quick clean over. These seem pretty, yeah, just a little bit of muck on there to take off, nothing too serious. Get the insulation plate cleaned up. Right, and then underneath the loco, how did that brush get out? Must have knocked it. left this by the sink, so I just had to go and pick it up. So this is obviously an insulation plate that goes on first. So this drops in to the base like so. Then our wire goes through, put that up through the body, and sits in place with the two contacts pushing onto the two wheels. That goes in like that, and then this obviously sits over the top to hold the whole assembly together. Right, so that's all back together. Now I just need to resolder the joint. So one of my viewers wrote to me after my last repair and said it's a bit amateurish using tape on joints, so I'm going to use a little bit of heat shrink or heat wrap on this joint and try and make it look a little bit better. Just tin the two wires. That's one of them. The other one, just to bring them close to each other. Nope, didn't take. Let's try again. That worked that time. Let's put the heat shrink over the top, like so. And we just use the back of the soldering iron to make that melt. Okay, same settings on the controls, full power, low impedance, and let's see how we do. Oh, look at that. Beautiful runner, really pleased with that. So much control over it as well. Just put it onto the high impedance and I'll show you. Totally different loco. Right, let's go and finish off. Right, one thing I do want to do before I forget, I just wanted to put just a tiniest bit of oil actually on the teeth here. Not too much, just to lubricate the cogs there. Right, so these two pony trucks, I'm going to take these through, put them in the ultrasonic cleaner. You can see the grime on them, and yeah, hopefully we'll get those a little bit better. And then while I'm in there, let's drop the tender body off, and I'm going to go and give these two, I'm just literally going to give this a clean with the soapy water and drop it in the ultrasonic cleaner, see if it brings it up a bit nicer, and then I'll just turn my attention to the last few grubby bits on the body. So I'll be back in a moment. Right, so I'm just these last couple of bits with a bit of grime, just using a tiny bit of that electrical cleaner just to take the worst of it off. Let's just go around here, not using too much of it because I don't know if it's going to react with the paint. It seems to be okay. Right, they've come back from the cleaner, they're not too bad. I'm just going to oil all the bearings in these wheels. Right, let's get it back together. So tender body, make sure I get it around the right way. Tender didn't clean up very well, but yeah, still got the marks on the side, and the back of it didn't clean up. But you know, it's not a problem. It's not the end of the world. Right, let's get this on the front of the loco. I'll drop this down through here. Goes through there like that. That then mounts through the middle and screws in on the base like this. Can't get it to start. Oh, it's because I'm not on the hole. Right, there it goes. That's done. Right, slide the body back on. So might have to take the funny trap back off. No, I've done it. It did go together. Right. So one screw down the chimney. There it goes. And these two screws on the back here. So metal chassis, die-cast body, plastic, well, it's a plastic upper tender, but a die-cast lower tender body. Let me just go and get the scales and I'll weigh it for you. Okay, loco, 618 grams, and with the tender on there, 690 odd, 695 grams. So nice weighty loco, should be able to pull lots of coaches. Let's go and see how it does. First of all, quick test run on the test track. Okay, little test run. Perfect, look at that. What a lovely loco. Let's see how we get on the main track. Well, I very much enjoyed doing that one. A lovely, as I say, a Wren Loco, Lyme Regis. This was one of my grandfather's, so it's another one put back on the rails. And what a beautiful runner. I've had it going around the layout now for probably about an hour while I've been filming some shots. Hasn't missed, skipped a beat, hasn't come off, no derailments, just perfectly round and round and round. And as they say, you know, these older locos, I love the way they sound. They thunder round and they're absolutely bulletproof once they've had a good service. So yeah, really pleased with this one, and a lovely loco, really lovely loco. So anyway, if you enjoyed that one, please do give it a thumbs up, and as always, please check out the channel. Lots of videos on there now. If there's something there that you like, please subscribe. And with that, we'll leave this one there, and I'll say thank you ever so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.